I am totally switching up my training where I have been doing stuff like a snatch, a clean, deadlift, bench press, squat, trying to get strong and build my capacity for CrossFit. I am totally changing the game. Here's what I'm going to do. After years and years of doing full body splits in my workout routine, I have finally converted. No, I don't think that traditional bodybuilding splits like a push, pull, leg day, or chest and tries, back and thighs one day, legs and shoulders one day. I don't think that that method is necessarily better for building strength, but I do believe that a bodybuilding split, a traditional bodybuilding split, and they vary quite a bit, I think they do have their place. And so for me, I've been doing full body splits for years. I think probably now over 10 years, been doing full body split. And where that started was back years ago when I was probably in my early 20s. Started really training and working out with friends, and prior to that I was training, but I wasn't really in a gym, and I was doing some random stuff like P90X and things like that. But when I started training in a gym with a crew of buddies, we started doing your basic chest and tries, back and buys, leg day, all that kind of thing. And what I noticed and we would of course always start with 3 sets of 10 of each exercise. And I mean, we would just do each body part like until that body part was completely dead. So we might do like 3 sets of flat bench press 3x10, then 3 sets of incline bench 3x10, 3 sets of decline bench 3x10, 3 sets of dumbbell bench 3x10, then like 3 sets of 10 chest flies, and then after that go on and do tricep work. And early on, I know I was doing way too much on one given day. But what I noticed is that I would only bench press, and I would only press 1 day per week. And then I would pull 1 day per week. I would do legs 1 day per week, depending on the and I might come back and do arms on a separate day. I think at that time I was doing like chest, like I was doing like back and chest, and then I would do legs 1 day, and then I would do shoulders 1 day, and then I would come back and do like back arms 1 day. I had an arm day, I know that. Anyways, what I realized is, really quickly, I realized I just wasn't getting any stronger. I was starting to look a little bit more muscular and put on some size, but I wasn't really getting like a lot stronger. The strength was barely coming. And I remember going to bench press on Monday, because Monday's always bench day. I remember going to bench press and feeling like, man, I haven't bench pressed in forever. It's been a whole week since I bench pressed. And I remember that feeling of like, man, I feel like I need to bench press more than once a week. I just had this gut feeling that I needed to bench press more than once a week if I wanted to get stronger in the bench press. Well, kept training like that for years, and fast forward to years later, I started messing with strong lifts, 5x5, and I started working out on my own. And when I started working out on my own and not with a group, I kind of got away from doing all the things that they were doing, which was constantly training to failure, doing tons and tons of sets of every single body part, like completely annihilate that body part and then go 7 days before you hit it again. And I got away from that. And when I did, I started to do strong lifts 5x5, which is a full body split. And I started to notice, okay, I was like squatting 3 times a week in some sort. I was pulling, I think I was pulling 3 times a week, and then I was pressing. I was doing all these things with more frequency, and I started to realize that full body splits were the way for me. And so then full body splits, I got stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger over the years, and I do 100% believe in full body splits. I am all about the full body split. If you ask me, if you're starting out in training, and you say, what is the best way to get strong fast? I will 100% say a full body split. With that being said, I've been on one for so long, and I was recently watching a video by Mike Israetel from Renaissance Periodization. And he was talking about how great full body splits are, but he was talking about how there is a time and a place for going with those traditional bodybuilding splits. like doing different muscle groups on different days. And what he talked about was when you do a full body split, he talked about how much cumulative fatigue that you build up, because your joints never really get a break. Your nervous system never really gets a break because you're working those muscles constantly. And so and because you're not completely destroying that muscle on each session, chances are every single session you're performing at a pretty high level, you're able to have a pretty high output. Because typically for me, I only do like 3 sets of like say on Monday I did 3 sets of bench press. I'd only do 3 working sets of chest. So like by Wednesday I would be fresh and really be able to put out a really high output. But the problem is over time, there's a lot of cumulative fatigue on your joints, and not only that, just on your nervous system, because you're performing at such a high output for so long. So for me, like here I am, 36 years old, I was at a place where, man, I just started feeling like I wasn't really looking forward to training. I wasn't really looking forward to doing the heavy lifts. I've just been feeling burnt out and trying to fight it. I've been switching up my training methods for the past over a year since I stopped doing CrossFit. And I've really been changing up my training methods a lot and trying to figure out what works for me. But the whole time I've stuck with a full body split. And man, I just keep feeling more and more tired. And I know age is part of it. I'm 36 years old. I've got a decent training age because I've been training for a long time. But man, I just have been really struggling. And there are times where I'll be gung-ho and feeling really good for a few weeks. And then I just plummet and I go back down to fatigue. And really just haven't been feeling very great about training in general. My joints, I've had some nagging shoulder injuries, nagging elbow injuries, upper back, neck, rhomboid. I had a knee recently that started swelling and couldn't squat for quite a while, and just now getting back to squatting. So I've had like one injury, one little thing after another. And it's really been in my gut. I've had this gut feeling, and your body will tell you a lot of times what it is that you really need to do if you just listen to your body. And so I've been feeling like, man, I just need rest. And I'm like, well, I can't rest. I can't just not work out. What should I do? Because over the years, I did not start out as a very physically strong person. And I have worked my butt off and trained until, man, now in more recent years during the CrossFit Open events, the strength events would be where I would rank the highest. And so I've gotten a lot stronger over the years, and I've pushed my body's threshold for a really long time. But I was listening to that video by Microhistory of Tell that was confirming that full body splits were great. But what I also heard is that a traditional bodybuilding split, doing different muscle groups on different days, may be good for someone like me, that I'd be a good candidate for switching to that style of training. So all that being said, I am totally switching up my training, where I have been doing stuff like a snatch, a clean, deadlift, bench press, squat, trying to get strong and build my capacity for CrossFit. I am totally changing the game. And here's what I'm going to do. For the next at least 3 months, I'm starting out, I'm going to do all my lifts. I'm going to do a chest. I'm going to do a chest and tricep day. Chest, triceps, and lateral delts. And then I'm going to do a leg push day, leg push and core. Then a pull day, which is going to be back, biceps, and grip work. And then I'm going to do a leg pull day along with calves and some other leg accessory work. So I'm going to be on a 4-day split. And I'm going to do those 4 days, and I'm going to put in rest days wherever I need. But in that 4-day split, even if I take 2 rest days, that means in a 7-day period, I should hit each muscle group twice, which will give me the frequency that I think I need to continue making gains, but will also spread things out and let me isolate muscle groups, and maybe it won't be as hard on my joints and as hard on my nervous system from doing that, high stimulus, heavy work every single day. Another thing that I'm doing is I'm going to light weights for high reps. I'm going to start in about the 20 rep range, and this is going to be horrible. 4-second lower. I'm going to do a 4-second eccentric, with a 4-second concentric as well, and a little pause in the bottom of each lift. I'm going to do my lifts slow and controlled, which I have been throwing in over the years. I know the importance of doing that, but I'm going to do that with all my lifts now. And one thing that supposedly does is that increases your tendon strength and your tendon durability. So where I've got all these lagging injuries and issues and things, I'm hoping that by doing that, I can start to get some tendon health, tendon strength back, give my body a rest, still build some muscle at 36, and then I can be ready to come back and get back into some more high intensity, start lifting heavy again, maybe even do some CrossFit again. Now, I am going to do some cardio on the side. I'm going to do some, mostly will be either through jiu-jitsu, or I have a Peloton bike, which I love. I'm a big advocate for the Peloton. I will use it and maybe throw in a little bit of high intensity interval training, a little HIIT training here and there as well. Nothing hard on the joints. I'm not going to do kipping and things like that. So I'm going to start with like I'll start with 2 sets of 20, 4 seconds down, 4 seconds up. I'm going to do that for a couple weeks, and then I'll maybe go to 2 sets of 18 and increase the load. And then once I'm used to like that amount of volume, I'll probably go to like 3 sets of 16, see how 3 sets do. And then from there, I'm going to keep doing those slow eccentrics, slow concentrics, and then I'm just going to keep decreasing the reps, the 3x12, 3x10, 3x8, week to week to week to week, and keep increasing the load. I may actually hang out in those upper ranges for a little bit longer, like on 3x20, I might hang out for 2 weeks. 3x18, I might hang out for 2 weeks. 3x16, hang out for 2 weeks. So I spend a lot of time there in that range, and then slowly drop down and then build up my load. So I'm figuring, this whole process, I'm planning on doing this for about 3 months to see how my body responds. And hopefully when I get done doing this, I can check back in with you and I can let you know how it goes, how it worked for me. And hey, maybe this is something that will open the door for a lot of people who, especially masters athletes who've been doing CrossFit for a while, want to keep training, want to keep having fun with training. Man, I'm telling you, when I went out the other day and just did chest and triceps and shoulders, it was so fun. It was so fun for me just to change up the training and doing them slow reps for high repetitions and just chasing the pump. It was a fun time, and that's what I need right now. So hey, maybe this will be something that a lot of older CrossFit athletes, jiu-jitsu athletes, anybody who's been doing high intensity stuff, full body splits, hey, change things up. Give your body a chance to do something different. If you have any thoughts on that, let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any questions, I do want to circle back when I'm done with this program and let you know how it's going. But thanks for watching.